Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Uh, okay. Um, there's things in this episode that work. Okay. Very few, but they work. And then there's whatever that they thought was working. Um, whatever they thought that they thought was gonna work just didn't work for me. Pretty sure it worked for probably a lot of other people, but um, yeah. Let's start off with the whole Sarah, her being Renee. And so, she still thinks that she's Renee. Anna sticks her with the needle. Now, yeah, I did applaud her because I'm like, you know what, listen, at this point, I'd rather you just do it and get it over with rather than wait weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks dealing with her being Renee because she just came across as super annoying. So she did it. She plucked her. It didn't work right away. And so Sarah was pissed off, still being Renee. She's pissed off and she's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the cops now. I'm going to get you arrested. Now, everyone else is not there angry at Anna. And I sit there and wonder, how did Anna make it so far in life? I say that because, well, um, I don't understand on what level. Like, she literally stands there and she's like, well, I don't understand what I did wrong. You stuck her with a needle that you don't even know if this drug worked or not. And she is literally like, I don't, it's like she's not grasping the concept of what you just did was assault in front of multiple witnesses. So they're pissed off at her. Um, Maggie is, Tony is. Tony's not there trying to talk to her. And I just don't understand how did she get so far in life with the level of thinking that she has in her head. Because he's trying, it's like trying to explain why something is wrong to a child. That's what it was like, looking like when you watch Tony talk to Anna. Anyway, Sarah gets there and she gets to the cops and she tells Rafe and Sean that, Anna assaulted her, tried to inject her with a needle in something that she didn't know what it was. So they get down there and they're like, yo. And Anna literally admits, yeah, I stuck her with the needle because I want to make sure, I want to get her back to herself. So Sean is like, so you just admitted to stabbing her, to poking her with a needle of substance that she doesn't even know what it is. And she pretty much was like, yeah. So they're like, yeah, so we're going to arrest you now. And Anna's like, you can't do this. And Anna's like, Tony, do something. What is he supposed to do? I literally sat there, was like, you can't, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you can't be this stupid. You can't, I'm like, you can't be this dumb. It's just, you can't. And so she's like, do something, do something. And, she gets hauled off and now she's all angry. She's like, well, I don't understand what I did wrong. Oh my goodness, you can't be this dumb. And Tony gets down there. Tony's like, listen, how's your lawyer? And, Anna's like, well, listen, when everything is all said and done and she gets her memories back, then, she can drop the charges pretty much and it'll all go back to the way it was. I mean, she's all like, well, I did it for us and I don't understand what I did wrong. It's just like, I'm watching this whole thing in real time and I'm like, I feel like I'm losing brain cells trying to understand what she's saying. Um, so while that's going on, you got Gwen with Gabby. Because Gabby wants to get a drink. Gwen's already at the bar. She's waiting and worried and everything like that. Gabby gets there. She sits down next to her. Now Gwen is like, there's a bunch of other tables. There's a bunch of other bars. Why don't you just go and pick any one of them? So she's pretty standoffish in the beginning. And they talk about their relationship woes and stuff like that. And to be honest, they actually got along and they realized that they were a lot more alike than they realized, you know? And what Gabby did as far as, trying to have sex with Johnny and everything like that, Gwen kind of realizes this is what we do. We lash out, we get angry, we do stuff before thinking, and, consequences be damned. Um, so I'm gonna be honest, I actually like that scene because they, even though, they were fighting over, Jake and everything like that, and, Gwen realized after a while, like, yo, listen, you're better for him than I was. You made him happy, and if you didn't do that, then I wouldn't want to be with Xander. So it all worked out. They even toast and everything like that. And I'm just like, wow, I so did not see this coming. Um, they even give each other words of encouragement as far as, what they can sit there and do. Or at least Gwen does to Gabby. Now, when Gwen gets back, talks to Xander, and Xander's like, "Oh yeah, Anna stuck with the needle, and you know, because it was a point where um, Maggie went to flush the drugs out of her system, and I'm like, why don't you just wait to see if it works or not before we start doing that? Like, I want to move this storyline forward. We're not slowing down, okay? We're not doing that. Now, whatever sort of sympathy I was mustering up. I was, it's like a bar. I was kind of leveling up a little bit, but some sympathy. I mean, yeah, I know she did terrible things, and hell, I don't regret anything I said about her in any of my reviews. Whatever sort of sympathy I was having for her, which, trust me, it wasn't a lot. It's like it just dropped down to negative. Okay, it was going up a little bit. It wasn't much. I mean, to be honest, she's still going to get what she's going to get eventually, and I'm not going to feel bad for her. But she wound up switching a drug, the antidote for Sarah. She wound up switching it with, I guess, some drug from Roth, the original drug that makes her go, that makes her hallucinate and stuff like that. So she switched the drug, and at one point, Maggie is with her. And, Sarah's they talking, being all rude, the usual, being Renee, yada, yada, yada. And then she stops. And, Maggie's like, Sarah, and she turns around. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so she got her memories back. All right, this is cool. I mean, we can now move forward. We can move forward. We're not moving forward. We took a giant step backwards. A couple of steps backwards. Because now she realized that she's Sarah. And I think she's, at this point, thinks she's either 5 or 10 because she calls Maggie mommy. And I'm like, okay, all right, so we're doing this now. Now we went from her being super annoying to her being 10 or under. Now I feel like at this point, this would probably make most people be like, you know what, I mean, I stopped watching this show, but I actually touch you if I think it would make most people stop watching this show at this point. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna just cut out until she actually regains her memories. I'm just gonna take a little bit of a break, a little hiatus, and come back when everything is. Y'all just messing with my emotions too much. Um. So yeah, this is another extremely desperate ploy to keep Xander. She's doing all this to keep up. Doing all this to keep a man. I know men has done some stupid things in their time to keep a woman. Okay, I don't think I've went to extremes like that, but this is where we're at with Gwen. So awesome. Now, after Jake, gives her the grand tour of his place, um, they talk about each other's emotional woes as far as, um, pretty much they thought they were going to have a life with these people and they wound up not having it. And then, when Jake was sitting there talking, Jake was like, after a while, it seemed like he did stuff to make her happy, being in a corporate room and everything like that. And, um, the backstabbing and the plotting and everything like that. And you kind of realize that it's like, yo, this isn't me. This isn't me. I'm the car guy. I'm the mechanic. I'm the guy that fixes things. Um, it's like he tried to be something that he wasn't, being all corporate and everything like that. He realized that's just who he wasn't. He realized, well, he realized that that wasn't who he was. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When he says that, he was like, well, trying to go to, the route of Stefano and, be all corporate and stuff like that. And I realized I didn't like it. I was like, bro, when you got that position, you were thrilled. You were over the moon. Okay? So it almost seems like the stuff he's saying wasn't really true. Because if you think about it, the only thing that really stopped was the fact that Gabby betrayed you. If Gabby didn't betray you, you got everything that you wanted. You still would have been happy living that life. You want to sit there and say it's a lie, but it's only a lie because your relationship is over. So it was one of those things. It was like he was trying to be all deep and oh, I've come to this realization. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you did not. You didn't come to anything, bro. This only happening now because your relationship didn't work. So all that stuff meant absolutely nothing. Um, Talks about how Ava, isn't meant out for, she isn't meant for the domestic life. She's a mob princess. She likes to control stuff, and she should be who she is. Um, he agrees to sleep on the floor, and she gets to bed. So when he gets out the shower, because apparently he didn't think, hey, you know what? Maybe I should put on a shirt before I walk out and have her all there in her nightgown and everything like that. No, I'm just gonna go out shirtless. He answers the door because it's knocking the door. Gabby's there. And Gabby is like, hey, she turns around. She's like, what in the hell is going on? I was like, Gabby, not that long ago, you and Johnny were just about to get it on. You you seriously want to walk in with that tone? But of course, turns around, sees Ava, and Ava is, Ava's not there playing along. And Jake did not sit there and say too much of anything. He just stands there and he smiles. So yeah, we're gonna play that game. Um, should be fun. Rafe is up there talking to Sean, and Sean pretty much admitted to Rafe that hey, um, Bella didn't stop us before we had sex, and I didn't bother to tell her that. So when Bella gets to the prison and sees Jen, and Jen is all like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," she's running through her head trying to figure out, oh, was it one of the guards? What's going on? Is it a pillow? This, that, and the third. Jan Spears acts exactly like Jan Spears, gloating and talking about Sean and this, that, and the third. And I mean, listen, she has a very, very, very tragic backstory that no woman should ever have to sit there and deal with. Despite the fact that I really don't like her, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. As far as Nicole, when Nicole's dad did to her, apparently she was pregnant with Sean's baby, and things happen. But now, she wants to then kind of throw it in her face. Um, and at first, Bella was just in denial, denial, denial. She was like, "No, I stopped you before you had sex," and he was like, "No, you didn't." And it takes a while. It sinks in. She's not letting it, but it sinks in, and then she gets back and she talks to Sean like, "Yeah, Janet's pregnant, and she says it's yours. Now Sean just has this look on his face like, oh man, I probably should have told her. Oh, even, Janet Spears was like, wow, I thought he would have told you. But since he didn't, I figured, why not? But, she realized once she was able to carry the term, she was like, you know what? The first person I'm going to tell is you. So now Sean has to sit there and deal with a very uncomfortable conversation. And again, my guess is that she's gonna wind up getting AJ out of prison, and her and AJ's gonna sit there and probably shack up for a while until maybe Sammy decides to come back, or um, she's done with movies and she can sit there and come back along with Lucas. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. Yeah, I don't really think I really missed too much of anything. I mean, for the most part, this episode was actually pretty good. There was a couple of minor hiccups that I personally didn't like, but besides those little run-ins, I have to sit there and see Jan Spears because why not? Because the fans seem to love her, and I'm just gonna stop. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.